So Hammond did a good job, didn't he? Ready? Okay, welcome to tonight's meeting, March 21st. It's 5 o'clock. Lorain County Board of Commissioners, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, Commissioner Moore,
Here.
Commissioner Hung,
Here.
Commissioner Riddell.
Here.
Okay, before we start, we have somebody in that couldn't make it. We were going to have them at the end of the agenda today, but they are out of town and they were coming through us live, I believe, from New York, right? Is that where you're at, Nick?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so live from New York, okay. Welcome, Nick. I have a problem with saying your last name and I'm Polish, so I'll let you say it. Jarmaszuk. I keep having a problem. And I've known you guys for a while. So how do we want to move forward. We want to talk about, have a public discussion in regards to the project down in the city of Lorain. We're probably going to be talking about this in the next couple of meetings. The city of Lorain, I put a challenge out to them and I says, look, we're all about partnerships. And I says, I don't mind partnering. I've been talking about that for almost 18 months. And they put the challenge back on us. So it's a $2 million investment that the city of Lorain is putting into this concept down along the river, 2 miles worth of river. And the family couldn't make it in tonight because this was very last minute. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Nick, and do the presentation, okay?
Good evening. I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to present our concept and the vision that we have for the CROMWELL Park redevelopment. This is the site that's located opposite the idled U.S. Steel Mill in Lorain on the Black River. So I have an agenda to go through. We'll go through the management team, go through the current state of the property, why this development makes sense, and then run through some details regarding the CART and road track development, and then some great pictures to put a little image to what we're going through. So first and foremost, we're looking to create a world-class family destination at this abandoned property. There are multiple phases with what we're looking to do, and all of them are going to be accretive to Lorain and Lorain County. The first one is to put up a go-kart complex, which is going to have a rental track and then a competition track. The competition track is going to attract regional, national, and international events, so you have a lot of tourism coming in. These events will bring in anywhere from 100, 200 people for the regional to thousands for the international events. We're also looking to develop a racing-themed development in that we're talking with manufacturers who are related to the karting industry. One would move in from Pennsylvania, and they are making chassis for the competition go-karts, and they look to bring in the carts that they're currently importing from Italy and start manufacturing those, bending the tubes and welding them and painting them, and having a fully U.S. manufactured competition cart, which is something the U.S. does not currently have. And then as we get deeper into the project, we like to open up a road track. So that'll be roughly a 3-mile road course with a clubhouse, roadside condos where you can store your car and have some family room space. And then what other things that are associated with this is we'd be able to have internship opportunities for Lorain County JVS students. And by way of background, I'm the CFO for Skylift on Levitt Road. And the JVS partnership that we have, roughly 40% of our employees have gone through the JVS system. And it's a great pipeline. We've got a great relationship. So we've got welders, painters, and folks in assembly who have gone through the JVS program. We're running internships. A lot of them work out to become permanent employees, and we couldn't be happier with the quality of the students that are coming out of the JVS system and the opportunities that we're able to give with careers in manufacturing. And with this park being, or with the land being largely undeveloped, We can also look to develop a waterfront so that nature enthusiasts can get closer to the river to see the birds, the wildlife, and the nature that exists there since the river's been cleaned up over the number of years. And then longer term, there's, with all the tourism that's going to develop from the go-kart track, there's hotels, there's space for a marina. We're talking about an experience center where that would be, we're having preliminary discussions with Bombardier Recreational Products, and that this is a four-season property, and they manufacture ski-doos, snowmobiles, they manufacture the engines that go into go-karts, and also the four-wheel off-road vehicles. So this is a unique property where they'd be able to showcase all of the properties or all of the units that they make for recreation. And then we can do offices, retail, and then obviously bringing in manufacturers that are related to the karting industry. For community benefits, it's a lot of jobs just initially on the go-kart and manufacturing complex. You can see the figures there. These are livable wages that we're going to be able to pay folks as well. The construction complex, as construction is occurring over roughly a 2-year period, is roughly 50 employees that are going to be employed through the construction cycle as well on a given month. And then there's the tourism that comes in, and then obviously the sales tax, payroll tax, property tax, bed tax revenue, that's all going to benefit the city and the county. And then it also really helps bring an additional catalyst to all the great work that's been put into Lorain to rejuvenate Broadway and really make it a place where families want to show up and spend time. From the payroll and sales tax revenue, so what benefits the county is the karting sales tax, it's 75 basis points. Bed tax revenue, a little more TBD as to what the numbers could be, but by my back of the envelope calculation, with regional, national, and local events, it could be about 15,000 hotel nights that this is going to yield. And then there's obviously sales tax coming off of the construction materials as well. This is the current property lines, and just to give you a sense of the scale of the property, this is about 412 acres in total. And then this is a bubble map we put together just to provide a visualization for how we're going to have the racing complex interplay with the trails and then mixed use commercial. And then this is just a preliminary rendering, and there's a lot more that we can do with that area to the left, which we haven't gotten down that path yet. And with the go-kart track, this is the one that is shovel ready and fully designed, and we're in the process of waiting for the EPA permit. So we have 2 tracks here. Track 1 is on the right, track 2, the larger competition track, is on the left. There's a lot of parking, and then there are going to be rental garages, a clubhouse, and then a entertainment facility that's going to overlook. It can function as a restaurant or a conference space. Developers are the buyers of the folks involved. Nick Sakevich has been working on brownfield sites for nearly 30 years. Nick Sr., who runs Skylift as well, and he's a bit of a very passionate visionary with what he sees as to become, and then I'm one of the members as well. And we're also working with a lot of local folks. Sortis Design, that's Mike Bassetti, working with Gary Fisher on the architecture plans, and Ryan over at Dooley Gambala. And for some of the other larger research projects, we have engaged CAA Icons to do a gap analysis to really understand what programming is already present in the Cleveland market, and then what areas, in terms of gap analysis, is what is missing. And what we got out of that was that a go-kart track and a racing facility actually does make sense. So this is just the overall larger org chart for how the interplay of the various entities. So let's go through the background of Cromwell Park a little bit. This was run as a land mill. Originally, it was a steel mill, and then an active landfill from the 40s until 1980. It was capped in the early 80s. It's been vacant ever since. And from some of the environmental studies that have been performed in the past, it's suspected that you got semi-volatile organic compounds, volatile organic compounds, PCBs, and stuff that you really want to make sure is contained within the landfill that has the clay cap on top so water doesn't penetrate. And so the picture on the left, the red line shows the outline of the landfills and where the clay caps exist, and the right is a recent satellite image. And the thing to note here is that you really don't want to have woody vegetation on clay caps and on reclaimed landfills, because those roots run the risk of penetrating the clay cap, which then allows water in, and then all of the contents of the landfill to leach out. So one of the first things we look to do is to clean up anything that's on the landfills and get the proper vegetation, which is grass, so the dirt doesn't blow away, and keep that maintained so that so there's proper stewardship of the landfills. These are some images of the work that Nick Sykevich has worked on. Harrison, New Jersey is opposite Newark, and they put up the New York Red Bull soccer arena. That's the sort of white donut there. And then it's also been more recently developed, so you've got a lot of housing and retail. More recent project is Chester, PA. This is the Philadelphia Union, has a stadium towards the upper end of the picture there. This was along the Delaware River, just south of Philadelphia. Again, brownfield site, cleaned it up, and then now it's a active, vibrant community. So we're looking to do something similar here, where you have a brownfield site and create a very active community for racers, for employment, for manufacturing, and bring in some business here into Lorain and Lorain County, where nothing has been happening here for over 40 years. In terms of timeline, we're going to look to start construction as soon as we get the EPA permit, which is going to be somewhere between April 5th and April 20th. They gave a 30 to 45 day window, so those are the start and end dates of the window. And then we're scheduled to have our first event on August 18th, which is a state competition, and we're looking to have an indoor track as well. That we look to have commissioned by the end of the in time for winter, so we can have year-round operations. On the manufacturing building, we're actively recruiting multiple manufacturers to come on site. There's the company that's in Pennsylvania. There's another technology-related company. They make simulators, and they're outside of the Akron-Canton area. And then we've got a large amount of acreage for the road track. We're working on branding and creating a business plan around the road track. And then the overall grand plan here is have a master development to make sure that all the businesses that are on this 400 acres are complementary, make sure that they work together, make sure you don't have duplicative programming, and make sure that all the businesses on site succeed. For the construction budget, it's roughly $12 million with contingencies. This is solely for construction, and then there's also the operating budget for the go-karts, and then for the road track as well, and that's additional on top of this budget here. But we are looking to partner with the city and the county for this incredible project to really rejuvenate this vacant land. And so just to sum up with what's available here, it's a great job opportunity for students coming out of JBS, summer employment opportunities for the outdoor track. We're looking for bringing manufacturers who have careers in manufacturing. We're looking to create a new tourism draw so that we can get more hotels in the area. That's one thing that came out of the gap analysis, that there aren't very many hotels in the regions, but if you start developing these large national draws and you've got folks coming in consistently on the weekends for races, it's going to create a need, and we'll start having a larger hospitality industry developing in the Lorain area. And so it's sales tax, payroll tax, bed tax, and then all the extra tourism dollars that are coming in as folks are staying in the hotels, they got to go out for dinner. And that really helps bring in more business into downtown Lorain, and really it puts Lorain on the map, more so than it is already. It really creates a national destination. And to put some sizzle to what I talked about, this is the GoPro Motor Complex. This is in the Carolinas. I believe this is North Carolina. Here's some photos from a competition event. Those are examples of competition carts. Folks show up with trailers. They've got racing teams. And those trailers are basically mobile garages. Some of them have generators. They got running water. Some of them are more simple, just drag behind. But this is a real serious hobby that folks get really involved in. This is a indoor track. All these carts are electric, and so this is year-round programming. Sample manufacturing. These are very precise machines, and that the bend needs to be just so, the weld needs to be precise, because you're zipping along at 70, 80 miles an hour, and the frame needs to bend a certain amount. So the benefit that we have as being a manufacturer in Lorain County is that we're able to facilitate companies like J3 to help them get in touch with all the right vendors for steel, equipment, hydraulics, any kitting kits, kitting for assembly, vendors of other equipment. So we're able to facilitate and help them with labor and building a relationship with JBS for another avenue for all the students coming out of the program. This is a sample of the competition cart. Large road track. This is a photo from the Atlanta Motorsports Park. And then what are these trackside car condominiums? Basically a garage on the bottom and living space up on top with some vistas of the road track. And then what's great with Lorain is that you've got the scenic background of the idled blast furnace, and sunsets in the summer are beautiful in the Cleveland area as well. So I think it's going to end up being an incredibly scenic opportunity, and it's going to be a very accretive development as we took this land which was sitting there vacant, and we're bringing in folks that want to do something, and they got a passion, they had a hobby for cars, for racing, and it's a real community of racing that we're looking to develop. And these are some of the renderings coming from Gary Fisher. With that, does anybody have any questions?
Commissioners? Well, will you be available? Because we're going to probably have one or two more meetings in regards to this. So we have a 9:30 meeting on Friday, and then a week, probably 10 days later, another 5 o'clock, if that's okay, if we could reach out.
Absolutely.
Okay. It can be by phone. Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking time out and showing us your presentation. Okay. I know it was very last minute, and it's amazing what Karen could do to pull it off with you. So.
Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm actually shocked I was able to keep it to 15 minutes. Hopefully I didn't go through food.
Well.
Hopefully I did not go through it too fast.
Well, we talked. I know if your dad was here, it'd be an hour and a half later. So, but I do appreciate it. Thank you for coming in, sir.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Victor, how about that?
All right.
How's that, man? We had actually did a presentation from New York. This is kind of cool.
How's that go? Live from New York.
Yeah,
Saturday night.
Tuesday night.
it's Tuesday.
Tuesday night, yeah.
No.
We're not gonna be here at 11:30 tonight either.
Oh, if you want,
I won't, you can, but
would you like to proceed?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Number 1, investments.
These are the investments that we're voting on. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 2, appropriations.
We have about 15 items on the appropriations. Any questions? Seeing none, move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell,
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
Yes.
Number 3, transfers.
These are our transfers. Any questions? Seeing none, move to approve transfers.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 4, advances repayments, there were none. Number 5, requisitions.
We have 4 pages of requisitions. I believe everybody reviewed them. Is there any questions on page 1? Seeing none, can we move, any questions for page 2? Okay, seeing none. Page 3, please. Any questions? If not, page 4, please. If no questions, I move to approve pages 1 through 4 of the requisitions.
So moved.
I said that. Second?
Second.
Okay.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 6, travel.
Is there travel for the
Yep.
week? So move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 7, bills.
How many pages? I think we only have 1, so. Oh, wait, no, I think we have 2 of these, yeah. I think we've all reviewed these. Any questions? This is page 2, the breakdown of, let's see, there was something. If it's hard to read from your guys' end, it's just as hard up here. No questions? I move to approve pages 1 and 2 of the bills. And 3, sorry, and 4.
I think he said there
Oh,
were
there's 6 of them? Okay, I'm always used to the other ones, so. Are we good? How many pages are there, Casey? 6? I move to approve 6 pages of the bills.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 8, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within the jurisdiction of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners. At the conclusion of today's board meeting, commissioners may recess into an executive session to discuss personnel, new hires, and board appointments.
I move to approve the personnel summary sheet.
Second?
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
And we
At this point, usually we have public comment on anything that's on our agenda. I don't think anybody's filled anything out for that point, so we'll have public speaking or public comment at the end also, so. Continues.
Nothing under old business, so number 9, board business. Approve and waive the reading of commissioners' meeting minutes of March 7th and 14th, 2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 10, amend Resolution 23-143, adopted February 8th, 2023, setting the commissioners' meetings. Amendment is to reflect that the Friday biweekly meetings will start at 9:30 a.m., not 10:30 a.m., commencing March 23rd, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 11, under Community Development. Amend Resolution 23-154, adopted February 21st, 2023, awarding a contract to Crossroads Asphalt Recycling, Inc., Columbia Station, in the amount of $297,534.20 for the Sheffield Township Liberty Avenue and 41st Street resurfacing and drainage improvement project. Amendment is to reflect the payment will be from the CDBG fiscal year 21 grant funds account in the amount of $146,200 and stormwater funds of $124,495.20, and Sheffield Township will provide up to $26,839 as local match.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Director of Community Development, do you have anything to add to this, or this is just an amendment and you're good?
Just a 60-cent discrepancy.
Oh, really? 60 cents? Okay, then,
Subsidized this.
okay.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 12, under Job and Family Services. Authorize a sub-grant agreement County Neighborhood Alliance, Lorain, in the amount of $96,934.72 for the Family Promise Affiliate Program in Lorain County using TANF funds. This is effective retroactive to January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023, and will be paid from the TANF account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 13, authorize a sub-grant agreement between JFS and Lorain County Neighborhood Alliance Lorain in the amount of $50,000 for mobile senior centers in Lorain County using ARPA Adult Protective Funds. Lorain County Neighborhood Alliance will provide mobile senior centers in Lorain County in the amount not to exceed $50,000 effective retroactive to January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023, and to be paid from the ARPA Adult Protective Services account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 14, under CBCF, award a contract to Cuyahoga Fence LLC, Cleveland, Ohio, in the amount of $166,891.60 for installation of detention grade fence at CBCF. 2 bids were received on March 2nd, 2023, this being the most responsive, complying with specification. Work will be completed by June 15th, 2023, and will be paid from the capital improvement account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 15, under engineer. Advertise for bids for the North Ridge Road Bridge number 0349 superstructure replacement in the city of Vermillion and Brownhelm Township. Notice to be in the Chronicle Telegram on March 27th, 23, and April 3rd, 2023, and open at 2 p.m. on April 18th, 2023. Work consists of supply, delivery, and installation of a galvanized steel beam superstructure. Estimated cost of the superstructure is $145,000. Funds for the work will be provided by engineer and ODOT.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 16, award and enter into a contract with Crossroads Asphalt Recycling, Inc. of Columbia Station, Ohio, in the amount of $265,609 for the Columbia West River Road resurfacing project. 7 bids were opened on February 28th, this being the most responsive, complying with specifications. Work consists of planning and resurfacing .92 miles of Columbia West River Road from Osborne Road to Sprague Road. Issue notice to proceed upon full execution of the contract, authorizing work to begin upon authorization from the Lorain County Engineers Office, and the work will be completed on or before August 31st, 2023, and will be paid by CEAO in the amount of $212,487.20, and the engineer projects account in the amount of $53,121.80.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 17, award and enter into a contract with Cuyahoga Fence LLC of Cleveland in the amount of $109,075.80 for the Guardrail Phase 7 Fiscal Year 2023 project. 2 bids received on February 28th, this being the most responsive, complying with specifications. Work consists of guardrail removal and replacement in 3 different locations throughout the county. Issue a notice to proceed upon full execution of the contract, authorizing work to begin upon authorization from the Lorain County Engineers Office, and the work will be completed on or before August 1st, 2023, and will be paid from CEAO.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 18, award and enter into a contract with U.S. Bridge of Cambridge, Ohio, in the amount of $98,300 for the Hughes Road Bridge number 0255 superstructure replacement project in Pittsfield Township. This was the only bid received. Issue a notice to proceed upon full execution of the contract, authorizing work to begin upon authorization from the Lorain County Engineers Office. The work will be completed on or before July 31st, 2023. Authorize administrator notify auditor to release retainage at the completion of the project and will be paid from the engineer bridge projects account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Number 19, enact a regulation prohibiting the use of engine brakes on Giles Road, County Road 142, Eaton Township, in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 505.17A and 4513.221E4.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
And that ends the engineer excitement.
Yes.
We're saving the best for last.
Number 20, under sheriff. Advertise for bids for a provider for psychological services for law enforcement personnel pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 307.862. This is for a 2-year period and will be published in the Chronicle on March 27th, 2023, and April 3rd, 2023, and open at 2 p.m. on April 17th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I see the sheriff is here, so
Yes,
you can
Commissioners.
explain what,
This is a grant that we've already received already, and obviously this is one that Captain Ashdown has worked on. And it's, obviously for some services for our deputies. And we have to put the bids out to find a provider now.
oh, okay.
So that's what it is, but we already got the grant.
How much was the grant? Do you
It was
remember?
like $36,000.
36,000? That's, okay.
We applied for another one, we're still waiting on that, that's about $500,000.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so we're
Okay.
still waiting to hear from OCJS on that one, so,
Okay, much needed.
okay, thank you.
Oh, good job. Thank you, sir. Any more discussion?
All right, Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
All right, public comment.
Any public comment? Mr. Charles Smith is here. If you'd like to come up and speak. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Hello, my name is Charles Smith, and I am here on behalf of E3 Incorporated, which is a sober living facility for men. We're located in Lorain, Ohio, on the corner of Hamilton and 8th. We also have a public food pantry that we operate on Tuesdays. So I wanted to come here tonight to tell you all a little bit about our organization. We've been in operation since 2018. We have approximately 45 beds that we have available to men in the county that are seeking help with drug and alcohol abuse. I work with prisons, I work with jails, Lorain County CBCF, Medina County CBCF, various detoxes and treatment centers throughout Ohio to find residents and then offer them that next step that they're looking for in their treatment and their recovery. We also are able to offer these men jobs, which we provide transportation to and from. So if a resident does not have a license, they're still able to get employed fairly quickly and help them get back on their feet. I'm here tonight. I just wanted to introduce myself and my organization to you all, and I'd like to thank you for your time, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Nope. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Michael DiCarlo.
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
He's in the wrong seat.
No, he snuck in.
You wanted to watch the presentation?
You want to watch the presentation?
Vroom, vroom. Michael DiCarlo, 320 Alberta Vermilion. Good evening, Mr. President, Commissioners. Approach you again regarding the yellow fire hydrants in the city of Vermilion. I had an opportunity to address the council, sent you an email. I don't know if you all have reviewed it or not. Told them that we seem to have, I've gotten a nod of approval. It seems that we've liberated some resources to address this concern. Met with the mayor last Wednesday. Didn't write it down, but there's between 72 and 75 fire hydrants in the city of Vermilion that are non-functional. It isn't just the hydrants, it's the connected pipe below it, right? I believe that some of these have probably rusted through because perhaps they weren't shut off correctly, or some of these are just plain old, right? Have outlived their usefulness. I believe personally, just by taking a college geology class back in the day, that some of this water has leaked or leached into the neighborhoods. And as we know, water seeks a level, and it erodes as it goes. And this may be playing into both the sanitary and the storm sewer problems that we're having, that been a problem in the Vermilion on the Lake region, which is not my ward that I live in, but just to the east of me. That's been going on for over a decade. So that may be contributing to that. The mayor had asked me had tasked me with obtaining $50,000 for a study. This is a project of his, but it's not one of his top projects. Addressing the infrastructure, the aged infrastructure, is a project for him. I'm willing to go to Sandusky, ask them for $25,000 for Erie County, because I've asked the fire chief if he has mapped out the failures, the yellow fire hydrants, to see how many we have in Lorain County and how many are in Erie County. And I have yet to get a response back from him via email, but I'll send that to the clerk of courts, or not the clerk of courts, but the city clerk tomorrow if I don't get a response by tomorrow evening. But I'm going to follow this until I can get some resolution one way or the other. I appreciate the commissioners listening to me every week or every meeting. And I told the city council that I believe that the institutional inertia has been broken and that we need to push this. And I believe that we can eventually come up with a plan of action with milestones so that this can be corrected. Probably not in my lifetime. Probably not in any of our lifetimes. But somebody later on down the line, somebody's kids and grandkids can benefit from having fire protection, or not fire protection, but operational fire hydrants. I have no doubt in the leadership of Chief Brown, Vermilion Fire Department, nor the volunteers that we have in a fire department. I believe I have great confidence in their ability to extinguish fires. However, I was walking through Vermilion on the Lake area 2 days ago, or driving through. Sorry, I haven't walked through there since wintertime. But one thing that came to my mind was there's a lot of trees there. And when trees start falling during a storm, hitting electrical wires, causing fires, blocking roads, that's kind of the reason we have hydrants underneath that area, so we can get the main operational and we can address it from elsewhere. We don't have to have a truck right on scene. We can have it in the people down there. But that's just my thoughts on that situation. It's evolving, as I said, and I'm going to continue to follow it up on it. Okay. I have a test on Monday with the Veterans Administration. I'm going to suck up some more of your tax dollars, right? But some of my occupational hazards from the past seem to be catching up with me. I got a couple of lumps I got to get checked out and everything. Okay. So if I don't see you the week after that, that'll be why. But I'll write you a letter instead.
Okay. Thank you.
I was very pleased to see that in the Vermilion Photo Journal that they announced that you were going to be speaking to the council and to the mayor on that subject.
I don't think they mentioned that in the photo journal, did they?
Well, it's nice to know that we were able to help you get some progress.
I appreciate that very much, sir. I appreciate all of your help in any way. Yeah.
Mr. DiCarlo, you look very dapper today.
Well, thank you very much.
Dressed up for us today.
I found that if you wear a shirt and tie, you get more respect than just showing up in a T-shirt. So I'm starting to play the game.
Depends on the crowd, my friend.
It doesn't work for me at all.
You're a lawyer. Nothing works for you,
It doesn't
sir.
work for Dave either. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So.
Have a great couple days. We'll see you on Friday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for the warning. I had to do it. It was like a softball. Okay. Clerk's report.
All right. Commissioners meeting on Friday, the 24th of March at 9:30 a.m. That's all I have.
Thank you. Board correspondence. Make a motion to waive
Reading of the board correspondence.
Second?
reading of the board correspondence.
Yes.
Discussion. Commissioner
Yes.
Moore?
Yes, I think Commissioner Riddell asked me he wanted 60 seconds, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't turn the clock on. Okay. I just wanted to have a brief conversation. I've been very well received by many of the constituents in my short 60, 75 days of service. Every meeting, we list the correspondence received by the commissioners, and it's available, but it's pretty much processed as a group. Many times this correspondence is addressed to us collectively. We each get an identical letter. Sometimes the correspondence is mailed to just one of us because of some relationship we may have. I respond to all the emails that I receive. I've had a lot of positive response to the time frame in which I'm doing that. But recently, some of the communications are sent at the same time to the papers or other media or put on various Facebook sites. And I've been asked why I do not respond or why I respond the way I do, avoiding some questions for that time. So recently, we received a letter from the City of Lorain wishing us expediency as we resolve the countywide communications process for all of our safety forces, which don't include just fire, they include police and EMS and so forth. We today acknowledge receipt of a letter from Mayor Whitfield that we received after our last meeting that has received press coverage already. We will, in the days to come, we will formulate a response to the questions he has posed. We also received a lengthy resolution from the Village of Wellington, also published in the paper prior to our being able to meet and work on it. We will now respond to that resolution while correcting some parts of it that are not factually correct. To the citizens of Lorain County, we ask that you not be swayed by those trying to put this issue in different optics, meant much to provide cover for their particular agenda or their particular brand preference, often trying to perpetuate the politics that got us to this juncture. I think I could speak for all of us, but especially myself, we have allocated funds to move Lorain County Safety Forces communications forward. Those funds have not been reallocated to any other purpose or project. It took 4 years to get to this point, and the public was safe during that 4 years, due in large part to the professionalism of our forces. You will be safe during the next few months as we resolve this issue. Also know that the final solution will need time to construct, and you will be safe during that time as well. This is a significant enhancement to the toolbox for our safety forces, but it is not accurate at all that we are currently unsafe or without protection. When fully implemented, the system built will allow all forces to communicate with themselves and each other on a daily basis and rally for any larger public event, be it man-made or natural. It will make it easier and more productive for all of our safety forces and the public they protect. I am keeping the oath of office I took just a few months ago. ARPA funds are still the dollars belonging to all Lorain County taxpayers and should be spent with the same wisdom and pragmatism as any other dollars that we manage. Thank you, President.
Longer than 60 seconds. Just wanted to say that.
How much?
Anything else? Any other
Any more
discussion?
discussion?
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
What did you
Nothing
vote
under
on?
new
Any
business?
new business? Did?
What are you voting on? What was the vote?
That was on the,
Waiving the board
Waiting for
correspondence.
correspondence,
Maybe
okay.
to read it.
Waiting to read it.
He didn't waive my presentation.
Your presentation was so long, I forgot.
wait, someone wake Dan up. Okay.
Yeah, please.
These evening meetings are messing him
I'm
up.
getting old, man. It's time to go home.
Any new business?
You want to speak to the go-kart project a little bit?
You want to?
If you don't.
Well, I'll let you, go ahead. New business.
I want to share David's congratulations for Karen Perkins, and I think you witnessed. I've only been following the commissioners on a live format for the last year or so after my decision to campaign. But I believe this is the first time we've ever had a live presentation on a subject before we actually, so the public is now aware of what we're working on at the very inception of the project. My personal belief is that I think this is out-of-the-box thinking. I think I was born and raised in Lorain, and most of us that are our age, Sheriff Phil included, we remember Lorain from the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, and and it hurts us to drive down 28th Street past the steel mill today. But this go-kart project is significant in three results. And the first is that it makes use of a brownfield site that, when we were growing up, used to be the city dump. And unfortunately, you can't go into the ground with structures when a brownfield site. You want to work on top of it, not disturb what's underneath it, and actually help limit the water that flows through it and pushes bad things into the Black River. So this accomplishes the last phase of a cleanup of a problem site that goes back to when the steel mill was on the north side of the river instead of the south side. And that was before the time of all of us old timers. The second thing it accomplishes is bringing a whole new tourism industry to complement what's going on in Sandusky and what's going on in Cleveland and East. The southern border of Ohio is going to be a recreational and tourist mecca from wine country to Cedar Point, and we're in the middle of that. And this will bring national attention to Lorain. The last thing that it accomplishes is this brings an industry, a new industry that's not currently anywhere else within the Great Lakes region. Because the Jarmasek family, they've not only looked at this as a recreational facility for amateurs, this is a recreational facility for professionals. When you draw the professionals, which most of your NASCAR drivers have been, this is where they got their start, okay? But they're also bringing the industry with it to promote, as you heard, the Sea-Doo and the recreational vehicles and the go-karts, bring that manufacturing to Northern Ohio, which, again, is bringing manufacturing back to Ohio. So I think it's a pretty comprehensive project, and I hope that the public will stay in touch and watch this and provide us with their guidance and wisdom as we deliberate this project in the weeks to come. As you heard, the family has a pretty aggressive schedule. This is not something they want to start in 2025. They want that site in use this year. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Commissioner Hung?
Well said, thank you.
What started happening here is, there is a bed tax, and that bed tax is accumulated funds. And in January, when I was reviewing the budget and the revenue streams, we were misinformed, and when we saw the actual numbers, we already had $2.5 million sitting in an account for bed tax, for tourism dollars. So what we are having a meeting, I believe, on Thursday morning at 9:30, and the tourism board will be meeting with KC and Mr. Petticourt. I think you said you would show up. We're going to discuss, and this is a public meeting. Everyone's more than welcome to attend. And we're going to discuss the options and whether or not to reinvest those dollars that came from out-of-state or out-of-area visitors to our hotels and use those dollars in that way. So that's going to be the discussion on Thursday. It will not be televised. On Friday, we'll come back and probably under new business, we'll probably discuss the different options financially that could be available to move forward, since this is a public and a private endeavor, and that the city of Lorain has stepped up. And like Commissioner Riddell said, a lot of times you get these ideas that come out. These are people that are putting their own money in, so it's a lot of private funding. So this is something I believe that's going to benefit the whole county. But the main thing is to find $2.5 million, and we get about $700,000 to $800,000 a year. And right now, the only expenses, I'm looking at KC, we've went through this, is we have a salary for a director and maybe some other miscellaneous. Now, there is some other funds we found that we may be talking about on Wednesday or on Thursday in regards to the bicentennial, which is for the for Lorain County for next year. So we're working on some of that and maybe using those tourism dollars to help promote Lorain County's bicentennial that we are starting February 14th and goes all the way till, hopefully we'll go through summer of '24. So that's what we're doing. We thought we'd bring the presentation in for the public to initiate some debate. And if the public would like to come in on Thursday and then the following Tuesday and help participate, and we can discuss, or show up on Thursday for the tourism board meeting. So that's, I guess, what we're talking about in new business, I guess. So that's it for me. Nothing else, I guess. We move to adjourn? Do we need to move to adjourn or just say adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
And thank you all for coming out tonight, so. You wanna? Want me to just throw this in your office, or you wanna sign it here? Okay.
License.
So are you gonna be okay on Thursday to talk about this?
Absolutely can't talk about it on Thursday. Just a look at today.
Okay,
Good night, Erica.
okay.
Always, I don't want to do it, open session.
Huh? No, I get it. I just want to get you like prepped up so that if there is questions from the public or from Gary had some issues. Okay, Victor, we're done.